Alright, what's up guys, Tommy here, and today I'm bringing you my second Pokemon Wi-Fi battle. This one's against AAmazing, and the reason I wanted to challenge him is because he makes some really interesting teams and has an interesting style of battling, in the RU tier mainly, so if you want to go see similar battles like that, feel free to check out his channel. I'll leave it in the video description. And yeah, this should be a really interesting battle to watch hopefully, so let's get on with it. Here we go. So in terms of the background music, it's pretty much an even split on whether people wanted it or not, so I cast the deciding vote, and I said, yeah, I'll just keep it in, but I'll lower the volume so you can hear my voice a bit more. Anyways, I lead off here with my grandma, go straight for the taunt because I know the Stealth Rock's coming, and his Dolclay unfortunately cannot set up the Stealth Rocks. Well, unfortunately for him. Fortunately for me, because my biggest threat to his team is actually weak to Stealth Rocks, so it's good that I got those out of the way. I go for the knockoff thinking he'll switch out to something, so I wanted to cripple anything that came in. Maybe like a Choice Scarfer or a Life Orb something, but he goes straight for the Earth Power, which I wasn't expecting, and that Drapion, or Drapion, whatever it's called, does no investment in special defense or HP, so yeah, it didn't take it all that well. So I go to Credilli here, aka Stumpy, and he's my special wall, though unfortunately I forgot to put any attacking moves on this guy, so what I want to say is, you know, I go for the Rock Slide or the Giga Drain, but unfortunately I don't have any of that, so I go for the Stealth Rock, and I think on this I have Stealth Rock, Toxic, Recover, and Stockpile, so it's ideally meant to be a Toxic Staller, so here we go for a tit-for-tat move. He goes for Toxic on me, I go for Toxic on him, and you know, having a Mandibuzz Toxic is always good. That thing can wall people for ages otherwise. So we both get hurt by Poison, and I think we make a double switch here. He switches into his Dolclay again, and I think I go back into my Drapion. He probably predicted that going to his Claydol, and at this point I was thinking, well, he'll kill me with one more Earth Power, but I know I'm faster, so I can get one move off on him. This is partially an attacking Drapion. I got no investment in the attack, but I do have Crunch and Earthquake. And something was telling me, like, I knew I wouldn't kill him in one Crunch, but something in the back of my head was telling me, yeah, you want to go for Crunch. You just want to crunch that thing, you know? You're not going to kill it, but you just want to crunch it anyway. I figured Drapion wouldn't have too much use on the rest of his team anyway, so I don't really mind. So I go into my Soft Skin, aka the Drudigan. And I do have the Sucker Punch in this guy, but I figured he'd switch, so I go straight for the Glare to paralyze whatever comes in. This is a pretty bulky set on this Drudigan. I've got max HP, max attack, Glare, Sucker Punch, Dragon Claw for the stab, and the Rock Slide, and his Sheer Force Life Orb, which is always a good combination. So I go here into my Rapidash, and he just protects up to see what I'm going to do. And I don't want to overprotect too much, I just go straight for the Flare Blitz to, you know, blitz this thing in the face, this little Christmas tree guy here. And I figured the only reason he has that on his team is to actually set up the hail. So he probably just left it in so I get some recoil damage there, which is actually a really good play because you'll see that recoil damage coming in a minute. He goes to Walrein here, and I completely forgot about Walrein's main purpose in this generation, which is actually just to stall people out completely. Like, I had a Walrein in, I think it was 4th gen, who actually had my team, but it was a complete, like, special sweeper. And I didn't realise it was actually so good at stalling. He goes for a sub here. I go into Stumpy, and this is where my lack of attacking moves comes in, you know, comes to bite me in the ass, because I have nothing for this Walrein. I switch into my Simipour here. Now, in hindsight, what I should have done is switch into my Leafeon. Leafeon? I'm mixing Leavanny and Leafeon there, pretty much because the Leafeon was made to replace the Leavanny. It's actually got the exact same moveset, so I don't know, pretty much the same thing. So, yeah, I switch into Simipour here, and Simipour is my special sweeper, although there's really nothing I can do against this Stall It's just going to Toxic me and keep protecting and stalling me out a lot more, and I sped this bit up just because it's a real stall fest. He just stalls me out to oblivion. I mean, Simipour's a friendly type. All she wanted to do was make a new friend, but Walrein just said, you are a weedy little monkey, I'm a giant walrus, why would I want to be friends with you? Protects up, get some more health back. I'm just going for the Hidden Power Ground here, I think it is, just to kind of break the sub and hopefully leave it so that when I bring something else in, I can just attack him straight away, but he knows what he's doing with the Stallrein here. I should have really, in hindsight, switched back into my Drapion here. Actually, what am I talking about? Drapion's dead at this point. I was at the same time fearing that he might have the Blizzard, so I didn't really want to switch into Leafeon, just in case. Because that Leafeon was going to be my second most valuable sweeper in this game, I believe. Right after Rapidash. I didn't want to sacrifice either of those. But at this point, he gets up another sub, and I think, well, the game is pretty much his if he keeps this Stallrein in, because I'll go for the Leaf Blade here. You know, if he goes for the Blizzard, fine, I've just lost, but I'm just hoping he doesn't have that Blizzard there. Fortunately for me, it looks like he doesn't actually have it, because he goes straight for the Toxic, and I think, oh, okay, this is interesting. So, I have a choice here. I could just try and set up with a Swords Dance. I could go for the Leaf Blade, predicting him to go for a Blizzard here. But then, I think I actually switch out in a second here. No, sorry, I don't switch out because I fear the sub, so I go straight for a Leaf Blade. He predicts that and goes into his Mandibuzz to take that like a absolute beast. It's surprising. You wouldn't think like a Vulture would have that good defenses. I mean, would it? Impossible Creatures Vultures don't have much defense. Impossible Creatures is always right, so that's the logic I go by. Anyways, brings in the Mandibuzz, takes the Leaf Blade like a boss, and both get hurt by Toxic here, so I figure he's probably going to roost up. I don't really want to do anything about it. Like, I have X-Scissor on this guy and Swords Dance, so I guess I could have set up a little bit more, but I decided to go to Druddigon here, because he's an absolute beast and he's got a lot of health. I pretty much forgot that he also has Toxic on this guy, and I know that Brave Bird will be maybe like a 2 or 3 hit kill, so I'm not too worried about that, but he does have the Toxic, which does some pretty nice damage to this Druddigon, and you'll actually see that that comes into play a bit later on in the game. So he poisons me up, and I go for the Rock Slide here. He probably didn't expect me to have that, I don't know, maybe, but Druddigon would have done a lot of damage either way with Dragon Claw or whatever, so go for the Rock Slide here, and it is boosted by the Life Orb and the Sheer Force, and he nearly dies to the Toxic there, and I was expecting the Hail just to finish him off here, but obviously he has the Overcoat ability which protects him from all weather effects, so this is a pretty interesting addition to a Hail-themed team. This is a new team he's been testing out, by the way. It's just a general Toxic and Hail stalling kind of team. Yeah, anyways, he dies to his own recoil here from the Brave Bird, and I did have the Sucker Punch, but I was saving it for this guy. I didn't want to reveal it just yet. I mean, logically, this Druddigon should be carrying Crunch instead, just to benefit from the Sheer Force and Life Orb and all that, but I keep Sucker Punch on here, mainly because I have no speed investment on this guy whatsoever. He's just a bulky sweeper kind of guy. He's got investment in HP and attack, so it brings in a Beartic, and I bring in the Hot Redhead, and I figure, well, Beartic doesn't have any decent speed, and he doesn't have any priority moves, because I was thinking about having this guy on my team. He looks pretty cool, you gotta hand it to him. Look at those massive claws he's got there, but I didn't actually realise that Beartic has an ability where evasion rises 1 stage during the Hail, so in theory I could have missed there and he could have killed me with whatever it is that Beartic normally uses, but luckily I do get the hit, but I do die to my own recoil here, so that's my main threat to his team gone there. So I bring in my Leafeon here, and I changed it from Leavanny just because I was using the same moveset anyway, and Leafeon has slightly better stats for what it does, and also it benefits from the better typing, so it doesn't have the double weakness to the fire or the flying. And actually, here's a fun fact about Leafeon. By the way, I'm switching into Credillia here, thinking I could take the Blizzard, but kind of forgetting that I'm also weak to it, so that was definitely not a good play on my part. Here's a little fun nugget of information about Leafeon. The first line of his Pokédex entry reads something like this: "It basically does not fight." I'm not even kidding, go and look it up. Didn't exactly fill me with confidence in this battle, but surprisingly I actually kill off this cast form in 1 Leaf Blade. Completely unboosted by Swords Dance, 1 Leaf Blade kills it off. I was actually really surprised. Well, really I don't know anything about cast form stats, so the reason I swapped out to Credillia in the first place was because I didn't think I'd actually be able to kill it off with 1 Leaf Blade here. He brings in his Stall Rain, and I was tempted to go for the Swords Dance here, but I didn't because I was still fearing the Blizzard at this point. Still not sure what that 4th move is. Maybe he used it at some point in this game and I'm just completely oblivious to what it is, but I don't know, whatever. He goes for a Protect to stall me out a little bit more. I nearly died to the Toxic and the Hail there. Luckily I do live just. And I go for this Leaf Blade. It all depends on this last hit. If I kill him off with this hit, the game is mine. If not, the game is his. And I don't kill him, then I die to my own Life Orb recoil. So that was a great game, AAmazing. Thanks very much for the battle, and hope you guys enjoyed the video. I will see you all later. Man of the match goes to Druddigon the Beast. Goodbye.